Mayor, Council, I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you all tonight. As you know, we've been really working since the beginning of the pandemic to find ways to support our local business and the community at large. And it's always been a tricky balance because on the one hand, you want to encourage people to stay safe, stay separate, kind of maintain those small circles of contact, but at the same time, folks, we want to encourage people to be able to get out and shop in a safe way that supports our local businesses. So we've always really kind of looked to leverage these individual projects and events to find ways to kind of take one thing and have it create a multiplier impact, maximize the benefit and create community activities that also support local businesses. It's been a hard year. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that, but it's also been a great opportunity to highlight the importance of local businesses to our community. But also really, it's unfortunately a great opportunity to highlight how much these businesses also rely on the community members to stay in business. They rely on their support. So I'm going to ask Courtney Williams, our downtown manager, to jump in here and talk a little bit about some of our early efforts, and then we're going to kind of tag team things as we go. So Courtney.
Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Everyone? Okay.
Yes.
So early on in the pandemic, when things kind of first started, as Sean said, things were tough. And so we were trying to create some spectacles that really kind of helped keep hope alive and families engaged. And so one of those was the Funtastic Fridays, which many of you might remember. We had Elsa and Olaf on the mini parade, blaring Frozen songs with a police escort. So that was fun. And then we also had the Osprey Watch Party, which was great, gave people the opportunity to watch our resident Osprey pair on a live cam. And so that was another really fun thing for families in and outside of our community to participate in, especially when everyone was awaiting the eggs to be laid. As we progressed through the pandemic and restaurants were unable to offer dine-in options, we actually partnered and worked with the city of Monmouth to create an event right around Mother's Day called the Great Mother's Day Picnic there. And that just promoted that both communities kind of help support small businesses by picking up food and treats at kind of your local favorite spots, and then going and picnicking with their families either at home or at a local park for Mother's Day. And so we got a lot of great business that weekend because of those promotions. We also kind of through that event promoted the Mother's Day gift guide, which was a tool that just really encouraged supporting local businesses when it came to picking out and purchasing Mother's Day gifts. And then the hashtag Indie Takeout project is kind of the bottom pictures there. That just really promoted supporting local restaurants safely, but through getting takeout. As you can kind of see at slide at the bottom, we just basically promoted that people who purchased locally or local food post a picture with the hashtag Indie Takeout, and then they were entered into a weekly drawing for a $25 gift certificate to a local business of their choice. And throughout the 5 weeks, we, in terms of like community engagement, we had just under 300 likes and I want to say about over 45 comments with about 20 different people posting, keeping engaged over that time. So that was a lot of fun. And then just lastly, early on, many of you might have already seen this, but when businesses had closed kind of initially, we had created a small business support video, which really promoted that message of taking care of our local community by shopping, eating, supporting small businesses. And that video has just over 13,000 views. So that's been seen quite a bit. And then if you haven't seen it and would like to see it, I can also send that video link to Karen and she can share that with you all as well. And so next slide, Sean. Thank you. So kind of moving into summer, we help businesses by creating some open air public seating there on the plaza. We added some lighting and some new picnic tables to just create more outdoor seating for downtown restaurants, which was especially helpful for those who didn't have access to a patio or outdoor dining. And so this saw a lot of use this summer. We heard a lot of positive feedback from both businesses and community members. And I just wanted to give a shout out to our public works team who helped kind of put the picnic tables there and prepare them. And then a thank you to Aaron Weimer as well for hanging those lights and taking them down for us. It's truly all a team effort. And And then kind of on the other side of the slide, you see our drive-in. Since we weren't really able to have our usual fun for concerts and movies in the park that we normally do, we kind of had to recreate the annual summer series this year into an 11-week movie series, which was a lot of fun. And we called that the Independence Drive-In. And so each night we hosted about 90 to 150 vehicles on Thursday evenings. And that went from June 18th to August 27th. So essentially the whole summer. And we had a really great mix of people who would show up, residents and new visitors who came. A lot of the new visitors had never actually even been to Independence before. So that was really awesome to see. To help businesses really capitalize on this event, we offered free ad creation and promotion on the large drive-in screen prior to the movie beginning. And so that's an example down there in the right-hand corner of one of the ads that we created. And then we also posted a lot of these promotions and ads on the drive-in Facebook page just to further promote visitation to local businesses kind of prior to the movie beginning. And then also we did a drive-in giveaway. That's the gift certificates there from the Independence Hotel. Basically, we gave raffle tickets to those attendees that came in that either brought food from an Independence business or were able to show a receipt or some sort of proof that they had supported a local business earlier that day. And so each week we had a winner, and they received a one-night stay at the Independence Hotel. And we got a lot of great feedback from that event series from our businesses. That Thursday nights were especially busy for takeout because of the movie series, which was great because that was the goal. And then kind of the last thing in the summertime that we set up with help from John Steinberg, who is the police maintenance supervisor here at the city, we were able to set up a sanitation station at Indy Commons in Kate's janitorial closet, where businesses from Independence and Monmouth could both come and pick up cleaning supplies and squirt bottles and PPE. And so far we've had about a dozen businesses utilize that service, from daycares to local restaurants. We have a sign out sheet so we can actually see who is utilizing those supplies. And there is still plenty of products, so we're going to continue to promote this as well as the pandemic continues. So I think it goes back to Sean.
Excellent. Yeah. And so summertime was really when the money finally started flowing down to our level through the CARES Act. We, obviously one of the early things we did was we surveyed our local businesses to see really kind of what their pain points were. And obviously, finances was the biggest one. They didn't have the revenue. So, we were able to use our existing emergency loan fund or revolving loan fund to offer for local businesses loans. And then we actually were able to secure a grant from Business Oregon to offer a grant and loan to local businesses. 9 local businesses got a $2,500 grant matched with a $2,500 city loan, low interest loan through that program. And then, we finally were able to get that CARES money. And so we're able to essentially take some of those programs and supersize them. So we were able to put a lot of additional money towards grants with that CARES money. We actually paid off those previous loans, turned them into grants for those local businesses. And then we're able to award 26 additional grants for local businesses. We actually, that basically kind of just happened. I sent out an award announcement the day before Thanksgiving. And so some of the honestly, we worked with Willamette Workforce Partners to run this grant program, and they've been offering grants kind of throughout the Mid-Valley. So they have this giant list of businesses that they're going to contact or are contacting. So some of our local businesses have already kind of been in touch and gotten their funding. Others are still waiting to hear from them, but we're hoping maybe by the end of this week, early next week, all of our businesses will have at least kind of gotten the initial acceptance documents from Willamette Workforce Partners to get that money flowing. So that's a total of 39 businesses with a total of about $150,000 awarded locally. And I would note also that really this is overwhelmingly like sole proprietor businesses, maybe 2 or 3 employees, would be kind of the majority of the businesses that we supported using this program. The other benefit is we've really kind of established a good communication system with our local businesses throughout the community. And it's enabled us to spread the word about other opportunities like the Round 4 Business Oregon funding. So 30 local businesses have also been able to take advantage of that program, and they're going to be getting that funding coming down shortly as well. That's probably going to be about another $125,000, just for independence businesses through that program. So really kind of trying to get the word out and get folks, kind of tied into those financial programs, because that is obviously the most important thing. The other thing that we heard on those surveys, though, was they need help. The businesses need help repositioning. They need help pivoting or moving online. A lot of times it was just, I need somebody who knows what they're talking about, that I can talk through the situation and really kind of help me understand where I need to go. So we created a technical assistance program, and this is again kind of a dual benefit. We supported a local microenterprise development nonprofit organization, Indie Idea Hub, by working through them. But then offered this technical assistance program where businesses got a consultation with a small business development center advisor. They got a digital review that's looking at their online, their social media, their website, and kind of giving a review of their footprint. And then they get connected with for one-on-one consulting on a specific topic, like, better identifying and targeting, customers, building out a website, developing social media content, kind of whatever the business owner identified as, hey, this is something that would really help me, move the needle for my business. It's been a great window into our local business community, frankly, just kind of understanding the capabilities and capacities and needs of our local business owners. I'm really hoping this is something that we can turn into a regular thing, because it's been, I think, very useful for the business owners. There's been a lot of positive comments about it. We're still kind of working through the consultation, so it's not done yet, but initial reviews are very positive. But it's great. It's really, I think, useful for us to get that broad perspective on, boy, there's a bunch of people that need this particular kind of help. We should do something, kind of focused, targeting that. So I do actually hope to have Kate Schwarzler, who's running this program. I hope to have her come in and present at a future council meeting once it's all kind of wrapped up, to tell some of the stories a little better. But I think one anecdote, I think, is sort of what we were really hoping would happen with this, which is Parallel 45 Brewing. They have essentially used our grant programs to fund a purchase of a growler sealer. It's kind of essentially a canned version of a growler. And then they're using the technical assistance program to develop the online ordering platform and website, so that people can order online for either delivery or they can come in there and pick it up. So it's a great way for them to pivot, create a new revenue stream for themselves. That's exactly the kind of thing we're hoping to have happen. Courtney mentioned already the part, that we've kind of partnered with Monmouth on several of these programs, and that's really been a nice, I think, outcome of this crisis is, with the grants, we work together to create the grant program and to market it. With this technical assistance program, we've got 20 independence businesses participating in it. Monmouth has 10 because they were able to kick in some money for this and market it to their businesses. So, again, kind of a nice collaboration. All of these programs, we're all in this together. We're all helping each other out. And so, that adversity really kind of brings us together.
Okay, back to me. So kind of moving into more of our recent business promotions there. In fall, we did our pumpkin picking at the park there on I want to say it was Saturday, the 26th in October. And that was a pretty successful event. We partnered with Beal's Pumpkin Patch, who delivered about 200 pumpkins to the park, which you can see kind of some in those photos. And throughout the 2-hour event, we had just about 350 people visit to get a pumpkin. And as each family left, we gave them $5 in Indie Bucks, which is a promotion that we kind of created specifically for that event, which is in kind of the corner there. And so those could be spent at any of the 7 participating businesses, which were found on the back there. And to help promote kind of the themed goodies that businesses were offering during this time frame, we also put together a bit of an ad to share with people so that they could see where to find some of the various like treats and where to spend their Indie Bucks, which is kind of the flyers there on the left. Just under, out of all the Indie Bucks we gave out that day, we had just about under 75% returned and redeemed in downtown. So that was a great return there. Another promotion that we're currently doing is the Munchies food delivery program. So with the change in weather and just the popularity of takeout, the city started working with the local food delivery service Munchies to kind of offer a free trial of delivery for any Independence Bar or restaurant from October 1st to December 31st. So we're kind of nearing the end of the promotion, but so far I think it's been really great for businesses that are participating because it allows them to kind of test how effective using a food delivery service would be for their business without having to pay fees or have much risk. And then to promote shopping small this holiday season, we created these Shop Small and Win Scratchits that are at the right-hand corner. So these actually started on Small Business Saturday, November 28th, and they're continuing until December 27th. But participating businesses are handing one of these Scratchits out to every customer who make a purchase. And each Scratchit is a winner. So everyone is a winner. It's $5, $10, or $25 on all of the Scratchits. And so they can be redeemed at any of the 7 participating businesses for products inside their stores. So far, we've heard just really positive feedback about this promotion. I think community members have loved receiving them. And then we've been seeing a lot of additional visitation at businesses with the redemptions as well. And then Glow. Glow is something that's going on in downtown right now. It's our kind of small holiday light display that's currently brightening up Riverview Park. We have a couple large lit items and a LED lit Christmas tree, and then our letters to Santa mailbox is also down on the plaza, which has been installed. Thank you, Public Works. The lighting will stay up until January 9th. And so with this, we kind of just wanted to give the community something festive and safe to do with their families, since many of our normal kind of winter activities have had to be canceled. But it's also been a really great draw to bring people to downtown businesses after hours. And when talking with a lot of the downtown business owners, many have seen an uptick in nighttime visitation and foot traffic with the addition of the lights in the Santa mailbox. So we'll continue to see that throughout the season.
You can really see that what we're trying to do, which is not just, we're not trying to do one thing. We're trying, everything we do is how does this help get people into the businesses, get people shopping, patronizing the businesses, with the indie bucks, with the Scratchits. I guarantee when those are redeemed, they didn't just spend $5. They don't just spend the minimum win amount. So it's a way to get people, supporting those local businesses better. And frankly, it stretches our CARES dollars, that much farther to create that much better of an impact. And really, these were just city projects. We've also been working a lot with partners to do even more. Courtney is always working really closely with IDA Downtown Association, helping them develop their holiday gift guide, their restaurant resource guide, who's open, who's, what their hours are. The Gnome on the Roam program and the Hop and Heritage Festival. She's also been really the driving force behind the Polk County Tourism Alliance and their continued work on the Great Oaks Food Trail, which really highlights, kind of these, business to business food sales, but also locally sourced food-based businesses, food-based products, which is a great, kind of tie-in for some of our food ecosystem work. We've been working with, like I mentioned, Indie Idea Hub, working with them at Indie Commons through a couple of grants to build out a shared use commercial kitchen and really, kind of build out that food-based business ecosystem, places for startup businesses to go to make their products, to sell their products locally. And right now we're, scrambling to wrap up, some more business support videos before the end of the year, really kind of, again, going into the winter here, highlighting, how you can patronize local businesses in a safe and COVID-friendly kind of way. So last thing I just kind of want to mention, we both really spend a lot of time communicating to do all this, both individually, with one-on-one and collectively, but really acting as conduits of information and resources and programs. We also really try to do a lot of listening because we're not the ones with the problems. The business owners are the ones with the problems, and we have to listen to them to really understand where those specific pain points are and better target our promotions, our programs to make them as effective as possible. It's going to be a really, really rough winter. And we need to make sure that all of our support is as targeted as possible to have the biggest impact as possible. Because we've done a lot, there's a lot more to do before we all finally get through this. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody might have, or I can just be done.
I have one,
Questions?
I have one question. First of all, it's amazing work you guys have done. I'm just floored by all the various ideas you come up with. The only question I have is, are the Facebook posts being mirrored on Twitter and Instagram?
Sorry, I didn't, you kind of broke up for a second. I didn't quite hear that question.
Are the Facebook posts being mirrored on Instagram and Twitter?
Courtney, I don't know. I know you've been usually doing it on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter.
No, I don't actually have access to the Twitter, but some of them are on Instagram.
Yeah, they also
Idea that
go.
everything be mirrored across the board on all the systems if we can.
Yeah, I know. So they all go on Nextdoor as well. We can check on Twitter, but I thought that was our policy. But if not, we'll make sure that that continues in the future.
Additional questions?
I do. So I guess probably the first one, actually, I guess they're both going to be for Sean or possibly Sean Tom. On the grants and things that are going out, is there a reporting element on that at all? So, I mean, do we get any kind of feedback whether that's going to help retain a part-time employee, or if it's going towards rent or, you know, utilities or what? So that's question one. And then the utility assistance, is that only residential or is that available to business owners as well?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
think I'll take those, Sean, if that's okay with you. So I'll answer the second one first. As far as utility goes, that's for residential. The program was designed that way.
Okay. Which is
and
what I
maybe-
assumed. I thought I'd check.
Yeah, maybe Sean knows more, but we certainly have had informal conversations with people as we've been handing out the checks and getting things. It might not be a bad idea when we have time when this is over to kind of go out and send a formal request. But I don't think, Sean, unless I'm wrong, we've actually done anything to kind of go back to all the different businesses that have participated.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's you know, yeah, the question of what the money would be spent on is just to, I think, yeah, we did not collect that information. We have had some conversations. I know, I'm trying to remember if it was ours or the Business Oregon application. I think there was a question in there about how many employees the business has. I don't know if we specifically said how many would be, you know, sort of retained through that.
And I know that, I mean, this piece of grants is new to the city. There's a learning curve. And I guess I would just offer that, I mean, typically with grants, there is some sort of reporting element that grant recipients are aware of when they get that. So maybe if there are future grant opportunities that we might consider incorporating a reporting piece in there. So, thank you.
So speaking of future grant opportunities, I don't think Sean mentioned this, but there is a current grant opportunity out there that our businesses should know about. Matter of fact, any business in Polk County should be very active on trying to go to the county's website and put in a grant application for business assistance. This is really going to be kind of the last one, I think, through the CARES money. The state gave $55 million to counties to distribute. And Polk County put up their grant program on Friday of last week. It closes Monday the 14th at noon. But this is an opportunity for local businesses who have been impacted by COVID to go up and ask for what they need. They didn't actually put a cap on it or a floor on it. So if you've been impacted by COVID, and especially if you haven't taken money from another grant program or especially one of the federal programs, it sounds to me like the county is going to prioritize giving that money out. So it's a little bit more uncertain as to what you might get out of that, but it would seem to me that for very little cost, which is just essentially your time to fill out a application, it would be well worth your business's times to participate in that program and see what they might get out of it. So their rules are you'll have to go to their website and see what they are, but it sounded to me like they were fairly flexible. So just want to make sure that all of our businesses were aware of that because that is going on right now.
Tom, that brings up a question about the utilities program. You said you're not getting much input from the community on that. Have you tried posting that on the library board?
I don't believe we have, but we're going to try a bunch of different things. That's a great place to do it. We've been just talking about increasing some of the community content on the library board and getting a little less library centric on that. So that's something we're working on as well.
Good, thank you.
So I have a couple things that first I want to, this was a great presentation, and I hope that we can chop it up and put it in, take this presentation and the PowerPoint that goes with it and put that up so people can watch this without having to watch the whole council meeting, because I think this would be really good for people. And I know that our chamber and our downtown associations, I think, would love to see this. I also want to offer kudos to Tom and Sean and Courtney and our public works folks. I've had the pleasure of working with you folks on a couple of these, and I want to let council know the timelines on some of these fundings that have come through, the rules that have happened have been challenging, and we have staff and connections within the community because of the staff all through the city that have really made these kind of things happen. You know, many other cities are just laying there and taking it, where our people and our community, they're finding ways to move things forward, whether it's lights, whether it's promotions, whether it creates a sense of optimism, opportunity, and doesn't let people feel like they're all alone. So I want to offer kudos to all the people who've helped make this really happen. And people notice. If you walk through our downtown, you can still see people bubbling around. They're grabbing an ice cream, they're grabbing a hot drink, they're shopping within all the rules, and they're doing the right kinds of things. And so we're not just laying there, we're moving ahead. The Independence continues to move ahead, not as fast as we want to, but we're still moving. So I just kudos to all the people involved.